Hey socialites, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Ariell. I do mainly beauty videos, fragrance, and lifestyle. So if those are the type of videos you enjoy, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and come join the family. So in today's video, I'm gonna do a full review and wear test of e.l.f.'s newest foundation that's sort of going viral right now. It's the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. And so it does come in 35 shades. I was able to pick up 4 of the shades. The claims is that this breathable formula has 1% hibiscus complex plus pomegranate, blueberry, and goji berry extracts. Now the foundation is supposed to be good for dry skin, oily skin, and combo skin. So it's supposed to work for anybody and have a medium buildable coverage to it with a nice satin finish. So I paid $8 each for the foundation and ordered them from the e.l.f. website, but you can pick them up from Walmart right now as well. So if you want to see how I got this look trying e.l.f.'s latest foundation, then keep on watching. Okay, socialites, so here's the packaging. It's just in a plastic squeeze tube. I think that sort of bronzy gold at the top is really pretty. It adds a chic touch to the packaging, and then you just squeeze it out. So the shade range was a bit tricky, and of course with drugstore brands like e.l.f. you can't try it in store, so it's just kind of like you have to try to make the best decision. So they break it down into cool, neutral, and warm shades. So let's see what that looks like. I have the shade 42 Tan Neutral here, and then 45 Tan Warm, which is this one. I initially thought that one of these two would work. As you can see, because 42 is neutral, it's actually a little bit darker than 45. And then I have 50 and 51. So this one's 50 and that one's 51. So 50 is deep warm and 51 is deep cool. So from here to here we have 42 tan neutral, 45 tan warm, 50 deep warm, and 51 deep cool. So swatched from top to bottom we have 42 tan neutral, 45 tan warm, 50 deep warm, and 51 deep cool. I don't have a perfect match in this formula, so I think I'll be a combination between 50 and 42. I probably mix a little bit of the two. I may be able to mix a little bit of 51 and 42 as well, but I'll probably stick with these two. This foundation does have 35 shades to choose from, and I think they have a good range, but just not my exact shade. And one of the socialites, she has a channel here. I'll put her channel right here on the screen, but she also did a review of it, and she's a lot similar to my skin tone, and she mixed two as well. So you guys can also go over there and check that video out if you need another shade reference. So taking 50, I'm gonna see how it looks just like on the perimeter. And let's try 51 right here. So even though 51 is deep cool, I'm feeling like 51 looks warmer than 50. So comment down below, let me know with the deeper shades, the 250 deeper shades, the 50 and 51. I'm feeling like 50 works best, but what do you guys think? So this one's 51 and this one's 50. 42 here. And 42 is tan neutral, and 45 here. So 45 actually matches a lot better than what I would have thought. It's actually the color of the inner part of my face. I think 45 almost matches perfectly to the inner part of my face, but it's too light for the perimeter. So I would probably wear 45 on the inside of my face, 50 on the perimeter, or either mix 45 and 50 together to put all over. Okay, so for today's video, we're gonna work with 45 mixed with 50. Now, when I do foundation reviews, I don't do primer. The website does say that this is supposed to be long wearing, so let's be the judge of that. I wanna see how this performs throughout the day. Let's take a little bit of 45. And then 50 on the perimeter areas. So I'm gonna blend it out with my e.l.f. cream and powder face brush. It has one flat side for cream or liquid products, and then it has a fluffy side for powder, and this is a really good brush, by the way. So I'm gonna start off with the perimeter. The website does state that this delivers a medium buildable coverage, and it's supposed to be long lasting with a satin finish. And then 45, let's blend this in. It's definitely medium. I can still see my pigmentation through it, but I do want to try to build it up a little bit to see if we can get a little closer to full. It blends out really nice, and it does look satiny and really smooth. It has like a soft matte satin type finish. It does a little blurring too, and it's really smooth even without a primer. So we're gonna see how long it lasts. That's the thing. So I'm gonna blend a little bit of both colors to see if we can cover the pigmentation. So just a tiny bit of 50 and a tiny bit of 45. And let's see. So you can build this up. So it's a medium buildable, and you can build it up to all the way full, which is nice. So what do you guys think about the coverage? What do you think about the color? So to highlight, I'm gonna take my Black Radiance concealer. And then taking my e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. This is another really good concealer too, you guys, but I picked it up in a super bright shade for like that bright under eye. This is in the shade Tan Neutral. It's a full coverage concealer, long lasting, and it has minimal creasing, but I'm just gonna put this sort of close to under eye. As that's sitting, I'm gonna take my Essence Baby Got bronzer. I'll put the shades in the description box. Definitely has a strong watermelon scent. And we're gonna use this to sort of contour. So I'm gonna take my CoverGirl Clean Invisible Powder. This one's in translucent medium. So I'm gonna lightly set all over with the same powder. I don't think I've set all over with this powder before, just mainly under eye, and just work it in with the powder brush. So e.l.f. just released a brow lamination gel. So let's try this one out. So it does have like a comb and spoolie on one end, and then you twist to open it up, and it has a small little wand, very stiff, sturdy wand, which I do like when they're stiff like this. It helps to bring the hair in place. So this brow gel is one of the better ones for my taste. If you like that brow lamination look where your brows go exactly where you want them to, this is gonna be a good one. So it's slightly sticky as it dries down. So we'll see what happens as it completely dries down, and it dries clear. This is like extra hold, definitely my type of brow gel. So as that dries, let me introduce you to some new bronzers. I don't think they're new. I think they came out a few months ago, maybe even longer, maybe even 6 months ago to a year, but it's new to me. So I have this primer infused matte bronzer. This one's in the shade Desert Sun, which is like a dark shade that's cool. And then I have Sun Soaked, which as you guys can see looks pretty warm. So we'll try Desert Sun on one side and Sun Soaked on the opposite side. So I'm gonna take the same e.l.f. Duo brush and use the powder side. So this one's the darker one, Desert Sun. And I'm gonna use a LYS brush for the opposite side. So this one is Sun Soaked. Definitely a lot warmer compared to the opposite side. But I'm not mad at this shade either, because to me this can sort of warm up the face and serve as like a blush. So which side do you guys like better? So it does take a little while to all the way dry down. The first side that I did feels like it's almost dry, but this side is still like a little tacky. So I'm gonna take my Revolution pencil from Makeup Revolution and just fill them in. So I'm gonna take the same warm bronzer from e.l.f. and just sweep that into the crease. Taking my Maybelline pencil. So I'm gonna take another new product. To me, this is the Essence Stay and Play Gel Liner. And I've heard great things about these liners. This one's one of the nude shades in the color Silky Nude. And then taking the darkest bronzer that I used on my face, I'm just gonna smudge right underneath. e.l.f. Big Move Mascara. This is actually one of my favorite mascaras. So they also gave me a sample with the e.l.f. order, and this is the Lash It Out Volumizing Mascara. I don't think I've tried this one before. Has like a rose gold and black packaging, so I'll use this at the bottom. So it has one of these type wands. So I think this particular mascara is probably for lengthening. Okay, so I told you guys about the number 7 Lift and Illuminate powder. It was on my favorites video last month. Really, really good powder, but I had medium, which is like almost my skin tone, maybe a little bit lighter. And so I wanted a brightening one for under eye, something drugstore that gives me that smooth finish under eye. So I think this shade may work out great, because what I usually use is the Charlotte Tilbury one. So let's compare the colors. This one's 2 medium in the Charlotte Tilbury, and this one is Fair from number 7. And I'm just gonna do it in the inner corner because this is pretty bright. So I'm gonna take my e.l.f. Cream Glide Liner. This is the darkest shade that they have. So I also picked up an e.l.f. lip lacquer. I don't think I've tried their lip lacquers before. It's in the shade Whisper Pink. So it looks like a cool tone pink and sort of pale. It doesn't have a lot of color payoff, but it does have enough, and only a tiny bit of the product comes on this tiny little wand at a time, so you're gonna have to keep going back in here. It's thick and a little sticky, not a lot. I would probably like this with a lighter color liner just for my taste. I'm gonna take Cork lip liner from MAC, and let's see what this looks like with the lighter liner. I do like it a little better with the lighter liner. It's not super shiny, but it does give a bit of a shine. It's thick, y'all. Like you can feel like the thickness of it. So because finishing spray can extend the wear of your makeup, we're not gonna do finishing spray today. I just wanna see how the product performs on its own. That way I could best recommend the best primers and setting sprays. So it's now 1:15, so I'm gonna wear the makeup for the next few hours, then we'll check back in and see what we think about the foundation. Hey socialites, I'm back. It's now 6:08, so I think it's right at 5 hours later, I want to say about 5 hours later, and this is what we have. So There's really no visible fine lines, but I notice the pores in my cheek area, which for me is normal with any foundation, even without foundation on. So that's something that one of my primers, probably any of my primers, would be able to help with that. I would probably use my e.l.f. liquid poreless primer because it really helps to fill in those pores, and I should be fine. I don't think it got super oily either. I do see a little bit of luminosity. It's not super shiny, but it's a little bit more luminous in this area, which for me as well is to be expected. So with the amount of shine that I see, I would also say that this foundation could work for somebody who has normal skin, dry skin, or anywhere in between, combo, oily, or anything like that, because it lasts. To me, 5 hours later and we got this look. This is something that's gonna last. And it's not super matte or drying either. And for that reason, I feel like this will work for somebody with dry skin as well. But if you have dry skin, I do recommend that you put whatever your favorite primer is underneath, whether you wanna use a hydrating primer, maybe even something like the Bobbi Brown Enriched cream that's like a moisturizer and primer in one, I think would be great. But whatever your favorite primer is, and if you have oily skin, I would still go with my oil controlling primer, or whatever your favorite primer is. Now, one thing to note is this foundation definitely gives you that makeup look. This is definitely that full coverage, that glam beat for the days you're going out or you want that sort of glam look. So it is a true satin finish, but it definitely gives that makeup look. Now, if I were to compare this foundation with another foundation, the closest that I would think it compares to is the NARS Soft Matte foundation. To me, it gives that same coverage and that same sort of finish. Now, for my personal taste, I do feel like this foundation is a bit warm on me. So also the next time I try it, I'll probably just do 45 and then warm it up with a bronzer instead of using that darker shade, because I feel like mixing that made it just a little bit warmer than what I would prefer. So comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Also, let me know if you guys have tried this before or if you're interested in trying this foundation. So everything I used today will be linked in the description box, so be sure to check that out. If you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. You're too scared to show me love, 'cause too fresh with the scars.